The boy was quietly sweeping the floor with a broom. Yet, with one effortless motion, he sent a 1000-jin black iron sword flying across the entire hall. No one saw who did it, and no one knew that this ordinary janitor had once been the top-ranked celestial swordsman. In the past, he had mastered his own creation, the hopeless sword manual, and achieved complete invincibility. But at the peak of his fame, he mysteriously disappeared, hiding his identity and choosing to live as a servant in a declining martial arts hall. Fate shifted the day his fellow disciples dragged him into a class where the master was teaching the hopeless sword manual. When he heard that others were practicing techniques he himself had created, his curiosity grew and he decided to watch. He realized no one truly understood the essence of the sword style. He shook his head unconsciously, just a small gesture, but the senior disciple took it as mockery. As the senior tried to punish him, the master sensed something strange and stepped forward for guidance. The boy calmly explained that the technique they were practicing was called the sword burial of 8 desolations, and it relied on perfect breath control. The master found his explanation logical and decided to try it himself. He struck a wooden pillar with his sword. Nothing seemed to happen. Thinking he'd been misled by a mere servant, he dismissed the idea, completely unaware that the inside of the pillar had already turned to dust. Still ignorant of the hidden power before them, he ordered everyone to study the hopeless sword manual more carefully. At that moment, unwelcome guests arrived. They were led by Rong-yoon, a terrifying figure whose name alone inspired fear throughout the martial world. He had come for the hopeless sword manual, and he had sworn not only to take it, but also to wipe the King Long Martial Hall off the map. He gave the master one final chance. If his disciples could defeat the 3 elite warriors he brought, he would leave without a fight. Humiliated, the senior disciple immediately stepped forward and challenged the bald warrior. But his limited skills were nothing before this opponent. He was defeated in a single move, and just as his life was about to be taken, the master intervened. Yet, even the master struggled against the overwhelming power and massive weapon of the bald fighter. In that critical moment, the boy spoke. The threat of the spirit fox lies in its claws and fangs, but its weakness is its body. With those few words, the master saw the flaw in his enemy's technique. A precise strike sent the bald man flying several meters back, but the opponent recovered, counterattacked, and gravely injured the master. Even though the boy stepped in to relieve the pressure, the master's meridians had already been destroyed. Realizing the hopeless sword manual might soon be lost forever, the master finally understood. This boy was no ordinary person. Desperate, he begged him to protect the King Long Martial Hall. The boy answered calmly that he had lived in the hall for a year and received much kindness. Then he stepped forward. The senior sister quickly offered him her sword, but he didn't need it. Holding nothing but a broom, he walked toward the bald warrior. His opponent smirked, sure that the hall had sent a servant to die. But the moment the boy took his first step, his effortless grace and overwhelming presence shook everyone to their core.